Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. In this video, I will be showing off all of the products that I managed to finish in 2023 in the categories of nail polish, perfume, and makeup. I do not save skincare, body care, face care, any of that stuff. It takes up too much space, and I am a person with hoarding tendencies. I've been saying it for years. I tend to definitely suffer from clutter blindness and other conditions. I've never been diagnosed with hoarding, but I suspect that I'm right on that cusp of being a hoarder. So I allow myself to save nail polish, perfume, and makeup because they don't take up too much space, but I don't want to get in the habit of storing all of my beauty trash throughout the year because I am very excited to be moving those products out at the end of each month. Plus, I just think the most interesting part of project panning are those three categories. I will leave a playlist down below of my other yearly empties. If you have any interest in comparing how my empties of 2023 compared to previous years, you can go take a peek. I don't think this was the best year overall, but you know, that's how it goes. Some years are good, some years are not. I'm always working on it. I'm always putting on makeup. I have a routine. I'm not always painting my nails, but I am always putting on perfume and makeup. And so if I didn't have a lot of empties for this year, it's because I'm chipping away at a product that hopefully will be in my empties for 2024, and that's just how it goes. So I hope you enjoy seeing all of the products I finished in a collective for the year, and thanks for watching, you guys. Let's kick it off with my nail polish empties. For nail polish, I only finished 2 in the past year. This was a top coat and this was a color polish. This was a Julie G textured nail polish in the shade Sugar Plum Fairy. In my heyday of painting my nails very consistently, I could usually finish 2 or 3 base coats and 3 colored polishes in a year. However, I have not been painting my nails consistently since COVID. I just fell out of the habit. You know, mom life, I do a lot of dishes, I'm busy, and I do try to paint my nails on Sundays, but it doesn't always happen. So because I am not painting my nails as consistently anymore, this has become the new normal for me. Last year I finished 1 base coat, 1 top coat, and 1 colored polish. So yeah, I have to adjust my expectations because this isn't a lot of empties, but at least some things are leaving my collection. And I'm happy to report this wasn't a love. I do not like textured polishes. I love the color. Every time I see videos where I had that polish on, I can't believe how pretty it looks in the videos, but I do not like the way that these sandy textured polishes feel, even when I have a clear coat of polish on top of them. So I'm very happy to have this moved out. I'm also happy to have 1 fewer top coats in my collection. I inherited a bunch of them from my mother-in-law, and I have too many, so it's good to have that number go down by 1. So only 2 nail polish empties for 2023. All right, and here are all of my perfume empties for 2023. This is kind of exciting to see. Individually, these little perfume samples are not that impressive, but when you see them all together, it looks a little bit more interesting. If you guys follow any of my other videos, you know that in 2023, I decided to attack all of my perfume samples in my advent calendar project pan. I worked on 3 a month, and this is the result. I did also managed to finish 1 body spray in my deck of panning project last year. This isn't a very old Victoria's Secret bottle of Scorpio. They came out with these body sprays like 20 years ago, and there was a body spray for every sign of the zodiac. And although I loved it because it was Scorpio and I'm a Scorpio and it reminds me of my mall rat days, I didn't love the scent. So I was motivated to, you know, move this very old scent out of my collection to make some space and eventually make room for something that I do love in my collection. What you will not see here are any full-size perfumes, any deluxe samples of perfumes, any solid perfumes, which I do still have one left. I strictly focused on the samples and that one body spray, and that is it. As far as the samples, I got through almost all of them. I do still have 9 tiny perfume samples left over, and I have plans. I've already put them in a project for 2024. They are back in my advent calendar project pan for another year. And if all goes well, I will have 0 perfume samples at the end of this year. Well, before that even, but in about 9 months, I will have 0 perfume samples left, which is super exciting. I do also plan to continue working on my body sprays in 2024. You will be seeing them popping up in different projects because, one, I have a couple of half-empty body sprays that I don't think will be too hard for me to get rid of, but also it's just a category I want to eliminate altogether. Some of the body sprays smell really good, but I either need to douse myself in them or reapply throughout the day, and that's not something I really want to do. I'd much rather apply a heavily scented perfume that I love in the mornings and give myself, 2 or 3 sprays and be good till I take a shower the next day. That's kind of more where I'm at with my body scents. I want something that I don't want to have to stick my nose up to my, the pit of my elbow to smell my scent. I want to be able to know what I'm wearing and to smell it. And with a lot of these body sprays, that's what I have to do if I want to know what I smell like. I have to stick my nose up against my body to smell it because they're so faint. So yeah, I'm just ready to kind of move body sprays out of my house, out of my collection entirely, and focus on more not pigmented, but what's the word for pigmented when it comes to a scent? More prominent, more potent perfumes. I should count these up. Let's see how many samples I have. 29. There are 29 samples of perfume here. Some were loves, some were not. One of the benefits of the Advent Calendar Project Pan and choosing these perfumes randomly was that I had no idea if the ones that I pulled were going to be in the spray bottles that I like, with the spritzer on them, which is super convenient, or if they were going to be with these kind of pull-off tops that are a pain in the butt and I despise. But what I realized was that when I allow myself the option to choose a perfume, I'm always going to choose one with a spritzer. And so the nice thing about the Advent Calendar was that it forced me to use perfumes that were in packaging that I did not like equally as much as the packaging that I did like. And I was able to discover some scents that I probably wouldn't have chosen otherwise. So it was really good all the way around, and I'm really glad to have all of those little samples out of my house. They didn't take up too much space, but still, it's stuff. It's just stuff that I don't need. I know a lot of people save those kind of samples for traveling, but guess what? I don't travel, so I don't need to save perfume samples for traveling because I would have to drug my husband to get him on a plane at this point. He does not want to fly, so there isn't a lot of traveling. There isn't a lot of trips. I don't need to save these kind of products for those events, and I just need them out of my house, and I'm excited that I was able to use up 29 samples and 1 full-size body spray in 2023. Okay, these are all of the makeup products I finished in 2023. Technically, it is not everything. I will tell you about what's not here that you're not seeing, but this is everything I have physically saved over the past year as far as my makeup empties that I finished. Let's take it from the top. I finished 3 primers, which is the same amount of primers I finished in 2022. So that's consistent. This is a full size. These 2 are deluxe samples. Very good to get them out. They were all on the older side. I only finished 1 foundation type product. This is a BB cream. I did spend a good chunk of 2023 working on a MAC foundation, but I didn't finish it. And I was playing around with some other foundation products. But as far as empties, this is the only foundation product I finished. Where I did have an amazing year was in color correctors. I finished 1, 2, 3 color correctors in 2023. I can't believe it. Um, Obviously, these were not worked on from start to finish. I had huge dents in both of these products at the start of the year, and I worked on this one in 2022 as well, but all 3 are leaving my inventory this year. I finished one face powder. I finished this really early on in the year. This is an e.l.f. I think it's a mineral foundation in the shade Fair. I do have 2 more of these, I think. So it's a good powder. I like it. This was another powder. I no longer recall what the brand was or what palette it came out of. I depotted it years and years ago, and this had been sitting in my depotted face powder inventory, but I used it up in 2023 and moved that out. I technically finished 2 bronzers in 2023. I only have this one here. This was the Laura Geller Air Whipped bronzer. This was my cream bronzer that I worked on in 2023, but I also finished a powder bronzer that was part of an Ulta Beauty sample palette. The palette is still around, so it's not here in my empties, but I did finish another bronzer. Again, you only see 1 highlighter here, but I actually finished 3 additional cream highlighters, or 3 pans of highlighter from my e.l.f. shimmer palette. So I don't have that here because I am still technically working on that palette. It should be an empty for 2024. But I do have this Laura Mercier highlight in 01. This is a deluxe sample, and it took me about 3 years to finish this. It took me forever. I really enjoy that product. I do own a full size, so happy to have that out of here. But yeah, the only actual highlighter you will see here is that one, but I did finish 3 pans of highlighter from my e.l.f. shimmer palette in 2023. I have 2 eyeshadow primers. This is the e.l.f. eyelid primer. I really ended up decluttering this because it was so dried out, but that left my inventory this year. And then I also finished this deluxe sample of Urban Decay Primer Potion. Again, I had been working on this for a long time, and I finally finished it in 2023. What you will not see here, and I have no explanation for why, I cannot find it anywhere, and I want to cry, is my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. I don't know where it is, you guys. I cannot find it anywhere. I finished it in 2023. It should be like the star of this little show, and I don't know where I put it. I don't know if I threw it away. I find it hard to believe that I would have done that, but maybe I did, but I can't find it anywhere. But I also did finish my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. And then I have this Old Mary Kay Eye Base in Silver. I have 1 eyeshadow single here. This is ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Couche, which is the first Super Shock Shadow I've ever finished. It's also one of my all-time favorite Super Shock Shadows. I love it. But what you will not see here are 5 other eyeshadows that I finished in 2023. So I did end up finishing a total of 6 eyeshadows. 4 came out of my e.l.f. 100 pan palette. 1 came from my Viseart Petite Pro 2 palette. And then this guy here. And then I guess we could count that as an eyeshadow. So 7 eyeshadows. That's not too shabby. I know I really beat myself up pretty good for not doing better on my Panette palette, but I am happy that I moved out 6 or 7 eyeshadows from my inventory in 2023. That's all right. All right, moving on to eyeliners. I only have 1 eyeliner empty. This is a Marc Jacobs eyeliner in the shade Purple Rain. I really enjoyed it. It's a deluxe sample, but honestly, I think there's about as much product in these samples as there are in a full-size eyeliner. I also have 2 brow products. I have both from ABH. This is the Clear Brow Gel, and this is the Brow Wiz. The Brow Wiz I finished off so early in January that it didn't even make it into my inventory pictures for 2023. But I did kind of finish it in between my December empties video and my inventory pictures. So this is an empty for 2023, but this is not in my 2023 inventory pictures. But yes, 2 brow products left this year. That's good. As far as mascaras, I finished one primer. I tend to finish about one mascara primer a year. I use these as much as humanly possible. I take out the stopper, I scrape the sides. I love these primers. I don't use them every single day, but I would say most days, like 6 out of 7 days a week, I am using a mascara primer under my mascara. I also finished these 4 mascaras, which I'm pretty impressed with because I think I've been working on my It Cosmetics Superhero for the entire year, but I guess while I was working on that, I did manage to finish these 4 as well, so that's good. The only standout out of all these was the Marc Jacobs one, and of course, at this time, I cannot purchase the Marc Jacobs, any Marc Jacobs products. This Guerlain one was good, but it smelled like roses, which is so strange to have a mascara that smells like roses. And I don't think it's any more spectacular than some mascaras that I could purchase at the drugstore. This Pure mascara was really only good as a lower lash line, and this Lash Domination mascara from Bare Minerals has a stabby wand, but the formula is good. For lips, I finished one lip oil, one chapstick. This is another product that I finished in between my December empties and doing my inventory, so it's not in my inventory photo, but I did finish this very, very early on in January. I also finished one tinted lip balm. That was a hate pan situation. This was way too glittery for me to wear out in public. It actually looked like I had been eating powdered donuts every time I wore it on its own, so I ended up wearing it as like a nighttime lip balm or layered with deeper products because on its own it was not a good look for me. I also finished these 2 lip products, which were in my like lip crayon inventories. I don't know why I moved this Wet n Wild product into my lip crayon inventory, but whatever. These were both in my lip crayon inventory. This is a Neutrogena Moisture Smooth Color Stick. I do love these products from Neutrogena, but I did not love this color. This was Sweet Watermelon. It was like a Barbie pink, frosty pink. I didn't like that. This I loved, and it was quick to pan, and I do have 2 more of these in different shades, so I don't know, maybe we'll see it again, another one of these in 2024. These are very old, and it would be great to move them out. Plus, I did give myself a point for finishing each end towards my low buy. I finished one True lipstick, and it is just a deluxe sample, but this is Bare Minerals XOX. This is a really nice formula, and it was a really nice color, but I have way, way, way too many lipsticks. I need to get my lipstick numbers down. I'm a little disappointed that it only went down by 1, but I am just so slow at panning lipsticks that that's realistic for me. I mean, that is what it is. That's what I can do. I also finished this deluxe sample of liquid lipstick from The Balm. This is Meet Matte Hues in the shade Committed. I loved the color of this lipstick. This was one of my favorite colors I've ever put on. There's just something about that shade that looked pretty. It stood out that you could tell I was wearing a lip color, but it was so natural. It looked like maybe my lips were naturally that color somehow, but you could tell I was wearing a lip color. It was beautiful, but over the time that I was panning it, the formula did change, and in the end, I used it mostly as a cream blush, which I liked it for that as well. But I'm very happy to have one less liquid lipstick in my inventory. Overall, my liquid lipstick inventory will be changing quite a bit because I also discovered a couple products that are lip glosses that will be moving out of that inventory. Plus, I moved another liquid lipstick from that category to the cream blush category. So there will be a lot of changes, but as far as using up liquid lipsticks, that's the only one that I finished in 2023. And then finally, I have these 3 setting sprays. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty typical for me, and I think I did a good job staying consistent with using setting sprays. Sometimes I get out of the habit and I forget to use it, and then other times I'm good about it and I'm consistent. The Smashbox was something I purchased at my local TJ Maxx. There was a set of these, and I needed to get myself a stocking stuffer for Christmas so that the kids could see that Santa brought me something as well. And so I grabbed this set just to have something in my stocking, and I liked it. It was good. I think this was like a limited edition thing, but overall I do like the Smashbox Primer Waters. The Make It Dewy from Milani was no good for me. This is one of those setting sprays that has like oil in it, and you have to shake it up and mix the oil in with whatever other liquid is in there. It's really good for like kind of making any powders you put on your face look more natural. It's also really good for people with dry skin. However, I do not have dry skin. I'm these days, for the last year or two, I feel like I'm back to oily skin, and I don't know how that happened, because I was an oily kid. I was an oily teenager. I was oily in my 20s. And then towards the end of my 30s, I felt like I was getting back to like normal skin, to a normal skin type. But these last couple years, in my mid 40s, I feel like I'm back to oily. I don't know what's going on, but this was no good for me. I would never repurchase this again. These setting sprays that give you that dewy look have oil in them, and that's no good for me. And then finally, I finished off this Kula makeup setting spray with sunscreen, and this I really liked. It stunk. It smelled so bad. It had such a chemically smell, but it really dried me out. And I know it sounds crazy, and a lot of people would not want to spray something on their skin that dries them out, but that's the best thing for me as far as keeping my makeup looking good all day long. I just need to, because my skin will start producing oils almost immediately. So something that kind of dries me out and provides some sunscreen protection is something I'm all for. I have not repurchased this. I haven't even looked into it. I have other setting sprays I need to get through first before I think about purchasing another setting spray, but out of the three, this was the one I enjoyed the most. I did go and watch my video from last year, and I will have a playlist of all of these linked down below if you want to watch my previous year's videos of makeup empties. But this seems like a lot less compared to what I had for last year. But you know, a lot of these products aren't worked on from start to finish. It's not like I can predict exactly how much I'm going to finish from one year to the next, because some of these products I've been working on for years. What I can say is, because this was a slimmer year, next year's makeup empties might be good. Like, there's quite a few products that I'm so close to finishing but couldn't get finished for this year, so they're going to be in my makeup empties for 2024. So there's always kind of an ebb and flow, but this does seem a little bit light for me. But what you're not seeing here is my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, 5 eyeshadows, 3 highlighters, and 1 bronzer that were all part of palettes that are not completely finished yet. So that's everything. I found it! I just found it, you guys. I just got done filming this, and I found it. It was mixed in with all of my perfumes. Oh my gosh, I do still have NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk. So I will retake the photos so that when I post it on Instagram, this is in there. But I knew it was here somewhere. Yay, there's NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk. I thought it was a perfume sample. Oh my goodness, yay. All right, that's everything, you guys. What do you think? Not the best year, but definitely not the worst year. I will take it. What I can say is every product you just saw in that video is leaving my home and is out of my collection and no longer taking up even the tiniest amount of space in my home, and that feels like a win. I am continuing my low buy journey. I am continuing working on my journey towards owning less overall. Collectively, that is the theme for me and why I do what I do. My goal is to own less and have less stuff in my home. And if that means saving money along the way, that's an added bonus. But the main focus is on having less. And yeah. And I'm happy to say that with all these empties, I do officially have less. So that's a good thing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.